Howdy, y'all. I'm Brylan. I would like to have a quick moment of silence for Kamala's campaign. Now, this Fox News interview with Kamala was one of the absolute worst interviews I have ever seen in my entire life. I think it's pretty much unanimous that this was an atrocious, horrible interview for Kamala. And it's funny because Jack Posobiec said that he's hearing the staff for Kamala aren't even trying to talk to her right now and aren't planning to all night because they know better by now when she gets like this. Meaning that Kamala knows that this interview absolutely tanked her campaign. There's no way that she recovers from this, but she's been doing lots of things that she can't recover from lately, like just opening her mouth at all. Hey, would you consider hitting the thumbs up button? You know, when you like this video, to get pushed out to more people, and it would really help spread the truth. Now, in this interview, Kamala came off very catty, rude, domineering, like in the worst way possible. Not strong, but domineering. Condescending, unsure, like literally all of the things that you do not want in a leader. And it really just proved that she can't handle high stakes situations. Imagine if this woman was sitting across from world leaders. And really what this interview did was it showed why commie law has one of the highest staff turnover rates. People cannot stand working for her, working with her, having to be in the same room with her for too long. So I wanted to go through and watch the entire interview, but if we did that, this video would be like 5 hours long. So in this video, I want to go through and show you the most important parts of this interview, the ones that really show you who Kamala is.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And
oh my goodness.
You know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but do you, just a number, do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point
Please do.
That we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately.
What you're seeing from Kamala is the classic, I'm answering the question without answering the question. If you notice, she starts off with, I'm glad you brought up this topic of discussion because it's something that is a discussion that needs to be discussed. So when we discuss the discussion, we're discussing a discussion. She went down and met with the Border Patrol, and they turned around and went, this woman is nuts. We can't stand this woman. This woman will do nothing but harm this country by opening the border and decimating our country with illegals. And one thing I like that Bret Baier does actually throughout this entire interview is when he asks a specific question and Kamala does not answer that specific question, he doesn't let her get away with it.
You call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now he's unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
She's quiet now.
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George
is,
Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that
wow.
he thought this was not the same Joe Biden
wow.
that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best.
Lady. This woman couldn't answer a question to save her life. It was absolutely hilarious when he's bringing up all the things she said about Trump and his cognitive abilities, and she's just giving it right back at him. Yeah, Trump, blah, blah. And then Brett Baer brings up Biden, and she immediately gets all quiet like, uh-oh. What do I do? And if he's been this wonderful leader that she's talking about, why did she have to stab him in the back and create a coup in order to get into the position that she's in right now?
Frankly, exhausted of Brett.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
Yep.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about.
What's happening?
You and I both know what I'm talking about.
What's happening? What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade, people have become, but listen.
I absolutely love, by the way, how Brett Baer didn't play into what she was trying to do, how she couldn't answer the question. So she goes, we both know what I'm talking about. We know what I'm talking about. And Brett Baer's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. And she defends turning the page from the last 4 years as meaning because Trump has been running for president for the last 10 years. So because Trump is running for president, what? That's got to be one of the stupidest answers that I have ever heard from any political figure, and there's some doozies out there. As you can tell, this woman is blaming, again, Trump for everything she has done over the last 4 years. She has decimated this country, and it's Trump's fault because he's been running for president. This is a fantastic point here by Charlie Kirk. He says Bill Clinton, George Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris have all held power for 28 of the last 32 years. Yet all of them are blaming Trump, all the while claiming they have the answers to America's problems.
Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States, why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
This is so
I know,
cringy.
but
It's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a
So
cakewalk
are they misguided,
for
the
anyone.
50%?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people.
Show me one clip where Trump has talked about the enemy within being the American people. Show it to me. I'll wait. Okay, I waited. It doesn't exist. The left are the ones that have spent the last decade calling Trump Hitler and an existential threat and all the things, have also prosecuted hundreds of their political enemies, destroyed the lives of people who are conservative because they absolutely hate conservatives, and they've shown when they have power just how much damage they can do by wielding that power against the American people. Name one time a political enemy of Trump was prosecuted during Trump's first presidency. I'll wait again. Wait's over. Doesn't exist. Now, I love how Brett ends this interview. Check this out.
Madam Vice President, they're rapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things
There's more to say. I have
there
much more to
are
say,
a lot of
actually.
things that people want to learn about you and your policies, and
Yes.
that's why we
I
invited
invite
you
everyone
here.
to go to kamalaharris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them.
I love how he said, I hope you got to say what you wanted about Donald Trump, but we invited you here to hear more about your policies, who you are, and Well, the viewer got none of that. All Commie Law did was bash Trump again, of course, all the rhetoric that she says Americans are sick of and blames conservatives for is literally all she can do, all she can run on, is to just try to tell you how bad Trump is and have no way of proving it. In fact, you can go watch my video where I go through her policy plan, the one that's on her website, like she said. It's called She Just Promised to Persecute Christians. And it goes over her entire policy plan, and it is terrifying. This is Matthew chapter 15. And I want to show you a verse here. This is when the disciples came to Jesus and told Jesus that the Pharisees were offended by what Jesus was saying. You know, there's a lot of that going on in our culture today, in our society. We're supposed to be offended by everything. If it's truth or has any truth in it whatsoever, we are to be offended by it. And that's what you were seeing by the Pharisees here. Jesus was telling the truth. And it threatened the Pharisees' control over the people, and they hated it. So they were offended by the truth. Look at verse 14 in blue. Let them alone. They are blind guides. And if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a pit. You know, this destructive, woke, insane narrative, indoctrination that they are pushing on everybody in society. It's infecting everything. It feels like they are winning, but they are blind guides leading the blind. Jesus says here that people like this will fall into a pit, and you are seeing that all around us. There is hope. You know, God wins in the end, and if we continue to pray and stay steadfast in the truth and stand on the truth, stick up for the truth, don't be silent, don't hide away, don't continue to let evil spread while you hide in your house and pretend like it's not happening. That's not the way to go about this. We should continue to speak out and stand on truth and not give in to these people. But hey, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, join this community. I would love to hear from you on a regular basis. And please hit that thumbs up button, you know, when you like this video. It'll get pushed out to more people, and it would really help spread the truth. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.